Yes! No!
Checkmate. Hello and welcome back to the Free Game Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things budget gaming. I am your host, and I'm your host, Holden. So I've never done the I'm your host thing, so it threw me off.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, and you might have just heard that I'm with a co-host.
Sorry.
Yeah, Justin.
I usually don't like to speak before I'm introduced, but...
Yeah.
Whoops.
Justin
Welcome.
Gibson. How you doing, man?
Doing good, dude.
Did you want me to say your full legal name?
It's already...
Justin Danger Gibson.
Yeah, it's all out there, man. It doesn't matter.
How you been today, man?
Yeah. Better.
Yeah,
better.
dude. Honest, because we just tried to record an episode about
Yeah.
a thing.
Good old... Yeah, we won't even say it.
Yeah, and...
Because it pissed us both off.
Yeah. You know, I was trying to log into this thing, this, like, server, and it was like, your everything's wrong. Your email's wrong, your password's wrong. And then we're like, okay, let's just try and fix this. I forgot my password, I guess, even though I'm sure I didn't.
You didn't.
And then it's like, actually, the servers are down, sorry. So it just was not meant to be.
Put us through a lot of pain for nothing.
Yeah, we're doing a quick pivot here. Yep. You know, doing a little one of those.
Just, yeah.
And you actually don't know what this episode is about.
No, not really. I think.
Yeah, no, you don't.
Okay.
Because I've had this idea in the back of my head for a while, and this is one of those episodes where we're not talking about a game, and it's not a free game chat or anything, but it's kind of like I'm just gonna ask a question and we're gonna talk about it.
All right.
Okay, and the question is, what kind of player are you? Okay. So let me, set a baseline here.
Okay.
Right? In a lot of different games, there are normally sort of, the word that we like to use for these sorts of things are archetypes. For, different kinds of things, right? So like there's first-person shooters, there's card games, there's roguelikes, there's, RPGs, there's all this stuff. And in every one of them, normally the designers like to give you multiple ways that you can tackle it.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Normally.
Right? And so I wanted to talk about the kinds of players we are in a multitude of games.
Okay.
So like, for example, in Halo, right? What kind of player... You're fine. Or what are you doing?
That might not have sounded like what it was.
It sounded like a toot. I'm going to be honest.
But I was taking off the... See?
Oh.
I was taking off the wrapper from my water bottle.
See, as you put something into a microphone?
Because we both have a cold water bottle. I don't want to get them mixed.
Yeah, especially since yours is on your side of the table and mine's on my side of the table.
I've drank... a dentist appointment later, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're already...
Yeah.
You're thirsty every day. Go ahead.
So... Let's just give an example, and then you can talk about a game that you like, and then we can kind of go back and forth and talk about what kind of gamers we are.
Okay.
Right? So in a game like... I was actually going to use a game that you would really like, so I'll do a game that I like. Let's do Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Okay, this is actually a really big thing in Magic the Gathering, where there are 3 different archetypes for the kinds of players in Magic the Gathering, and I'm going to look them up right now.
3 is less than I would have guessed.
Well, they've added a bunch.
Oh.
But 3 is like what I'm...
3 is the...
That's my thing.
Baseline.
Yeah. 3 is, So, the 3 are... Yeah, they added like Vorthos and Mel.
Those aren't even words.
So there's Spike.
That makes sense.
There's Timmy.
Don't know Timmy yet.
And then there's... Johnny's.
Wait, am I Timmy?
You're Timmy, 100%.
Okay.
So
I freaking knew it.
So, but we'll talk about it. Okay. So, and I think that these 3 are like huge. They have like huge implications as to a lot of different games. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So spikes are players who want to win.
Okay.
So they'll do anything to win. Right. A lot of the time, spikes don't care if the gameplay is fun or if it builds like a good community aspect of things. Like they don't care. Like they'll play the most degenerate combos because they find enjoyment in winning. Okay. And I'm sure everybody is thinking about that one spike that they know.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Then there's Timmies, also known as Tammies if you're a girl.
Okay.
And they are players who love to just play big, meaty dudes on the board.
Okay.
Like the biggest guys you could possibly play. They don't really care about interacting with other players. Like they're not trying to counter spells. They're not trying to, make these big combos that do awesome fun stuff. They just want to play like a 20-20
big old
that has reach,
big old
and
dog,
trample and just freaking get in there.
Yeah.
Right? That's you.
That's me. Even in Marvel Snap.
Exactly. Where I, on the other hand, am a Johnny / Jenny if you're a girl. So Johnnies love to build like a Rube Goldberg machine on their mat. Okay? They love interaction. They love, the counterspell, the like waiting until the optimal moment to just do something, but like not as spiky, right? Like they're not just like, oh, I just want to win. It sounds like the goal is to pull off the combo, whether or not it wins them the game. Yeah, or just like a cool interaction. I had a buddy who was a huge Johnny, right? Big guy. Yeah, he was 500 pounds. No, he was just like the epitome of Johnny. And I remember I was playing a game with him, a 4-player Commander game, and he was looking at his cards and he was like, guys, I just figured something out. And we're like, what? He's like, okay, for the next 3 turns, if you guys are cool with what I'm about to propose, you do exactly what I say. And we're like, sure, man, whatever. Right? Well, I think that we all said, well, what's the thing? And he was like, we can all lose at the exact same time. Okay. And we were like, great. That sounds awesome. Because that doesn't happen ever, right? So then he's pulling off this like Rube Goldberg machine. He's like, and then everybody loses. And we're all just like, we literally clapped. Like we were so excited. Cheering. And then we brought the judge over and he was like, all right, who won? We're like, we all did. Right? Because we all lost at the same time. And I think that they had us play another game to actually see who won. Right. But yeah, it was just like that sort of spirit about it where like, I think that a Johnny could like that. But I think that Timmy. I think a Timmy could like that. Spikes would be like, no, dude, I'm winning. Like, I don't care about guy who's like, yeah, let's do it. And then stab everyone in the back. Yeah, exactly. Which is like a huge, it's like rule 0 for Commander is like. No. Valjean's pawing my TV. Yeah, which is great. I think it's because he sees himself in it. Yeah, sometimes he'll walk in and just look at that and look at his reflection and start wagging his tail. And then he'll stop and go like Mulan. You remember that song in Mulan? When will my reflection show who I am inside? Is that when she's looking at a pond? Yeah. And it shows her face? Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh. Literally. Okay. But anyway, yeah, so Johnny's like, it's not about winning. There are a lot of times when I'm playing where I'm like, I do my combo. And then, like, one of my dream decks is this hippo combo deck where you just try and make as many hippopotamuses as possible. Okay. And you're like, and I make 100 hippopotamuses. Your go. And then they go, board wipe. And you're like, hey, man, I made my hippos. I don't even care, Yeah. So that's... Or you bop them 100 times for one... Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like the thing. But they don't have haste, so, No, they do not. No. And then I guess we can talk about Vorthos and Mel players. They're new. Vorthos is like people who really care about the story of Magic the Gathering. So they like build story decks, which I don't know anybody like that does lore. That. And then Mel players are ones that care about like the mechanical potential of cards. But I don't know. I see that as Johnny's. So anyway. Okay. What is a game that you know of where there are specific types of players, and then we can kind of, riff off of that? And you could maybe even tell me like, oh, dude, you'd totally be this kind of player, right? The problem is, I don't know the technical terms for the types of players in this game. I know fine. Like 2 of them. I'm just not as smart as you. So there's this online game. No, you are, dude. Stop. You're smart, man. Called O Game. And I want to introduce you to it sometime. Okay. But it's like a space... it's one of those games where it takes like 3 hours for you to build this mine, and then you upgrade it. It takes 4 hours.
it's just one of those long-term waiting games.
Kind of like Civilization?
Yeah, and there's not like the battles happen in an instant kind of thing. Like there's no like live combat.
Okay.
In that game, I played that game a lot. My uncle introduced it to me. And I always was a turtle, which I know is not unique to that game, that type, but I would just build my defenses on my planet as big as I could get them.
Yeah.
And I would just try to mine resources, but mostly build defenses.
Yeah. In Magic, they call that pillow forting.
Yes, you guys have said that before.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm also playing Tug of War with Valjean.
Hey, man. And I'm drinking water, so...
So, Timmy and Johnny.
Yeah. Welcome back to the multitasking pod. You go? Go ahead. You were talking.
A cool combo. I was just a big turtle, man. I was like, I'm not going to attack anyone else.
Yeah. Unless
it's some account they haven't been on for years and it's an easy kill for a bunch of resources.
Yeah.
But just non-aggressive. And I was like, if anyone's coming to fight me, dude. And by the way, dude, I got absolutely obliterated multiple times.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that play that game super well. And as soon as a new server opens, they go in there and they just accelerate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the only other like archetype I know of from that game is just miners. People that sometimes they'll just mine one specific resource, and it's a really valuable one, and they'll trade with other people to get the resource they need to upgrade their mines.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's their whole purpose. So I was kind of like both, but mostly a turtle. Dude, that game is cool because it's so complicated. Like the stats of every different type of spaceship and vehicle you can build.
Mm-hmm.
You can see all the stats. So it's a crazy numbers game. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what you would be, but
it's kind of reminding me of like StarCraft or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway.
Probably. I'm sure it's like a ripoff of a more popular.
Yeah.
Anyway, you probably wouldn't be a turtle or a miner. But I don't know what that would be called.
Who knows, man?
Regular.
Yeah, I'd just be normal.
Yeah, just a normal player.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting to kind of look and know that you're like now that we've set our baseline in like the Magic the Gathering, understanding of it, where there's like, Timmies, Johnnies, and Spikes, right? Like in that game, it seems like the Timmies are kind of like, they're not making big creatures, but they're like building big defenses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then maybe even like the Johnnies might be, I don't know how the game works, but like if mining for resources gets you cool things that you can interact with, maybe that might be like a Johnny thing. And then the Spikes are the ones that just go out and try and destroy everybody. I don't know. But yeah, I think that it's interesting to kind of like see the parallels between there, because in almost every card game that I've played, it's kind of the same. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in Marvel Snap, right? A game that we both love very, very dearly. I see kind of those three. Even though there's not as much combo potential as there is in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Like in Magic the Gathering, you can have like a 20 card combo system where you're tapping cards that then affect other cards, and then you're just doing this thing and you're just talking a lot, and people are just kind of trying to follow along with you.
And Marvel Snap is not like that.
No, Marvel Snap is more like, I play the Hood and it has negative power, and then I play Viper and I send it over to their side. 2-card combo, really good, cool combo.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't see you really finding a lot of enjoyment in something like that.
Yeah, I think maybe Marvel Snap isn't a game for Johnnies, because like the craziest combos are still 4-card combo. And it's not there's rarely a new combo that people are trying.
Yeah.
I mean, they are adding cards every week, but like, I'm definitely still a Timmy in Marvel Snap because I just want to put big power down. And I don't care what the enemy's doing. You're probably more of a Spike in Marvel Snap than you are in Magic the Gathering.
Definitely. Because, I think that Marvel Snap is a lot. It's very different from Magic the Gathering in that, like, the games are so fast-paced.
Yeah,
there's no
short.
social aspect to it.
Right.
And so if you're just losing all of the time,
Yeah.
there's almost no fun to it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, winning is kind of like the fun that you get.
It's kind of like the only thing there is to do right now.
Right now, yeah. I'm very, very excited for Conquest mode because I feel like that's where there will be kind of a social aspect to it. Because, like, when you're playing a game of one-on-one in ranked mode, right, which I'm losing my mind in ranked mode right now. But when you're playing a game one-on-one in ranked mode, the most you can get is, like, a couple emojis, you know, and, like, that's it.
Yeah.
But I think
the most extreme is some guy who's spamming. And then you can either just mute them or complain about it to your coworkers like we do.
Yeah, definitely. But, like, I think that there's almost like a form of communication through playing the cards that in Conquest mode can just be, like, you know, set up over and over. Like, for example, I was playing a game once and there was a really, really crappy location that showed up.
Okay.
Right? I don't remember which one it was. It probably Dream Dimension. Dream Dimension makes it so that all of your cards on turn 5 cost 1 more.
So 5 cost cards.
Yeah, and I was playing a Sarah control deck, right? And Sarah is a 5 cost card, and if you don't play her on turn 5, she's just useless.
Yeah, you're not going to
5 or before, you're not going to play her because it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, I remember he played down a Reality Stone and changed Dream Dimension into another location. And I just sent him the Nux.
Yeah.
And he sent me Nux back.
That's awesome.
Right? So that was one of those situations in which we kind of built this rapport of like, oh, this is a we respect each other kind of game.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't play the Reality Stone in Dream Dimension for me, but I appreciated it.
Right.
So then I sent him the Knuckles, like, hey, dude, nice. You know? And he was like, yeah, dude, awesome. I hate that place. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like over Conquest mode, because Conquest mode is going to be like battle mode.
By the way, he regretted it later because you just destroyed him with Sarah.
I actually don't know if I did. I might have lost that game. I was having a pretty rough time the past couple days. But yeah, the Conquest mode is going to be this thing where instead of just, you know, whoever wins wins and whoever loses loses, it's going to be over multiple rounds. And so if, you know, let's say that situation were to happen and like every time there's a bad location, one of us either Scarlet Witches it or Reality Stones it. It's like we have this like banter.
It's expected at that point.
Right? And by the end of it, if they don't do it, you're going to be like, oh, you cheeky.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to mess me up,
like,
right?
Okay, guy.
You know what is good for my deck. I know what's good for your deck. And so we're going to try and kind of sabotage each other. It's
a lot
like this,
more of a mind game.
Yeah. And I feel like with that, I think that the whole Johnny aspect might come out because by the end of it, you're like, dude, you played so good and we had so much fun. And I was able to do my cool stuff a couple rounds and you were able to do your cool stuff a couple rounds. You won, but we still had a good time.
Right.
So.
And the spikes are probably not going to care that much for, like, the hardcore spikes. Conquest mode, they're probably going to be like, I don't know, maybe they will, but like
I think that they probably will.
Because I think there's a lot of people that just play to hit infinite and keep going.
Yeah, there are a lot of them, but like I think that there's a distinct difference between players in Marvel Snap that want to get as high rank as possible and people who like tournament play. Because tournament play, they're totally going to want to do Conquest mode because that's basically a tournament, right?
Yeah, that's true. You win more, I guess.
Yeah. And so I can see people just like grinding Conquest mode, trying to get, you know. But yeah, and then we've forgotten to talk about Timmies. Timmies are the people that just want to play the biggest dudes.
Conquest mode or not.
Yeah.
You know what my plan is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Johnnies want to play. Okay, this is a really, really good example. Okay. Johnnies want to play Patriot. No. Sorry. Timmies want to play Patriot. Johnnies want to play High Evolutionary.
Okay.
So, like, Patriot, like, they want to play Hulk that's 14 power because it's just a big guy. But that's Timmy's. And then Johnnies want to play Hulk that's a 22 power because you did a bunch of stuff and we're comboing
Cyclops
out.
And Misty Knight throwing things around and
yeah,
doing
dude.
stuff.
Have you noticed, like, by the end of the game in a high Evo deck, like, I'm like, oh, dude, I won. And then Misty Knight throws the thing over, and then this person does this thing, and then Cyclops.
Crazy, dude.
Like, it's this huge.
Definitely a Gianni card.
Oh, 100%.
And it's cool.
It's really cool.
And I do think in Conquest mode, there will be better for Johnny's because, like, there's also there's going to be a new aspect, which is, like, one game with someone doesn't matter. They don't know your deck. Even by the end of the game, they've only seen a percentage of your deck. But after a few games, I think Johnny's might try to, like, be like, hey, I haven't played this card all game. They don't know I have this card. Now I can do, like, a different combo.
Yeah.
Like, surprise them.
Definitely.
Timmies are just going to be cookie cutter, you know?
Yeah,
but...
exactly. So, yeah. So, Marvel Snap, right? Mm-hmm. The game that I was thinking about that I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on is Halo.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just a card game thing. So what are the different players like because I know what kind of player you are. But like there's probably a lot of different kinds of players.
Do you know what kind of player you are in Halo? Or are you not sure still?
I'm a bad player. Yeah.
You're like there's a fifth one, he just loses.
Yeah. I am just bad at the game. I know what I'm not. Thanks you, garbage truck man.
Yeah, garbage came by.
Yep.
See, he's still here.
Yeah.
So
you gotta have a garbage truck guy.
In Halo, I wasn't. Yeah. He's definitely. I'll tell you what he is like. So in Halo, there's the very aggressive people. I mean, probably spiky, a little spiky. Mm-hmm. They go for. Okay, hold on. I got to think through this. It's so complicated. I'm gonna lay out a few things and then we'll analyze it.
Oh, perfect, dude.
There's people that just go for the power weapons. Mm-hmm. Rocket launcher, energy sword, gravity hammer. There's people that just run and gun. They get the needler or they just have their assault rifle or their battle rifle. They're aggressive. They just go. They don't care about fancy weapons. Yeah. Right? There's people that go for the sniper. I tend to do that more often. Mm-hmm. But I also just like precision weapons, and if I don't get the sniper, I can still manage with a DMR.
Yeah.
There's people that just get in the vehicles.
That's probably me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's people that use armor lock.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're in their own.
Yeah.
This is obviously pretty Halo Reach specific.
And this is a tier system. He's talking about them from best to worst.
Yeah, best to worst. The worst of the vehicle people are the people that just only get the Banshee. That's the flying purple one.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, just bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
No. They're not bottom. Armor lock is worse.
If I didn't say... Okay, yeah, sure.
So you got a little bit of a silver lining there.
Yeah, I got an edge on them at least.
Yeah, at least you don't use armor lock.
Yeah, except for if I were to try and splat them, I would just blow up, right?
Yeah, and that's why, because you would also look down on the armor lock folks.
Yeah, definitely.
You would think, actually, based on other games, that I would be an armor lock guy, because it's like the defensive...
Because you're a turtle?
But I have morals, first of all, and second of all, it's just... I use sprint as an armor ability more than anything. Yeah. So I can run away if I need to. instead of just become invincible for 10 seconds. Yeah. That's stupid. Yeah. Anyway, but I do love vehicles and I love sniping. Yeah, Some games I'm pretty aggressive too.
I've never been a huge sniper. Like in any first person shooter.
Here's one thing I love about Halo. You kind of have to be competent in all of those roles except armor lock. There's two guys in that garbage truck. Yeah. One of them was an armor lock guy. Because neither of them play anymore. They don't have time. Yeah. But the driver is a vehicle guy. Yeah. So what I was saying about why I like Halo Reach, in Call of Duty, you can pick a lane and you don't have to like.
Wait, Call of Duty or League of Legends?
We'll get into League of Legends.
Yeah, actually. Sure. Well, I was thinking like I want to know about League of Legends. I want to know about Overwatch because like that's like every character is its own, sort of thing. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of other games because like I'm kind of like I'm kind of like, dang, I don't actually have any more games that I can talk about.
I didn't think I did either, but Overwatch and League of Legends...
I have one. Go ahead.
Are going to be great examples.
Mm-hmm.
In Call of Duty, there's the people that just get the submachine guns. They run, the aggressive, right?
Uh-huh.
Run and gun. There's the quick scopers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
There's the camp snipers.
Yeah.
And then there's just the explosive dudes that just use noob tube or grenades, and they have the perk that stops explosions, so they're just bombing you. And
yeah.
it's like the low effort. It's like the power weapons kind of guys. In Call of Duty, you don't really have to be like well versed in different things as much as you do in Halo, which is why I like Halo. It's more of a fight. Call of Duty is a lot more like whoever sees the other first wins.
Yeah.
Because they start shooting first and it's over in a second.
Yeah.
Right? So I think Call of Duty is a lot more like, yeah, there's the quick scopers that just run around and do these unbelievable snipes that don't make any sense.
Otherwise known as Twitch streamers.
Yeah, Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
Then there's the people that just run and gun freaking hard and quick.
I think that when I was playing Call of Duty, there was like a summer back when I was in high school, where me and my brother like played a lot of Call of Duty together, and then like he would go to work, and then I'd be like, yeah, I guess I'll play some Call of Duty on the side, and then like that was one of the first times that I actually started like gaming solo, and I was just like the aggressive get in there. I just had my assault rifle, and I just got in there. I had the red dot, and I just...
those... Call of Duty tends to reward players like that.
Yeah, just super aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the community really has a distaste for campers, right?
Yeah, obviously.
And in Call of Duty Black Ops, at least, the noob tubers.
Also the, what's it called? Like Second Chance or something? Where
you
could like die and you'd have a revolver.
You go down and you pull out your pistol.
Yeah. And then you could, it was ridiculous.
That is a different thing. I'm trying to think like what a person who's a camper in Call of Duty would be in other games. Because it is sniping, but the reason it's deplorable is because like they use equipment or something and find like the one corner of the map where you can't sneak up on them. I think Halo does a really good job of making it so you can sneak up on anyone.
I think that those people are the people that want to be spikes, but they're actually what I would call like pub stompers.
Okay.
And so bringing it back to like Magic the Gathering, or I think any like competitive card game, any like esport or something like that.
Okay.
There are the people that actually go and grind tournaments and play against people that are as skilled as they are, and win and like really, really try their best to hone their skill and stuff like that. And then there are the people that, spend a lot of money on the right combo that they can get every time, and they go to their local game store and just beat the people that are just trying to have fun. And I think that there's a big difference because they're both competitive. The only thing they want to do is win.
Yeah.
But one of them, like, I don't want to just say like if you do this, you suck, because like that's not the kind of like, what's it called? Like the kind of, that's not the podcast that I want to have here. That's not the relationship that I would want to have with anybody listening to this.
Yeah.
But, I don't like it. I think that, if you want to, I'm trying to just use my words carefully here. You know what? It doesn't matter. Anyway, so there are the people who sit in the corner and like camp and stuff like that. If you're really good at Call of Duty and like you're an esports kind of guy, you can get that guy every time. Like that's you can kill him.
He's not a threat.
He's not a threat to you. Some like one actual like, I don't know if FaZe Clan is actually a big thing anymore, but like back in their heyday, I guess, I don't know. I don't know any of like the big Call of Duty esports people, but like if anybody on one of those teams was playing against a team of campers, I'm sure they could have their way with them very easily. But in just like a regular lobby, the campers are pretty good, right? Okay. Because it's hard to get around. If you're
you relating campers to the guys who just do the same thing. They go to their local game store.
Yeah.
And they have the really hard to beat combo.
Yeah.
And
it's just like degenerate. They
enjoy it.
Yeah. And like they're not trying to, it's like go somewhere else. We're just trying to have fun here.
Yeah.
Right? And
try a new deck.
Yeah. Just do something, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. I played against a guy at a local game store, and he had one of those combo things, and he kind of played it off like, dude, that never happens, dude. And it's like, okay, come on, dude. Like,
it's clear his whole deck was built around
it.
And
it was basically just like this thing where there's a card in Magic where it's like if you have 40 or more life by your next upkeep or something like that, you win.
Oh.
Well, in Commander, you start at 40 life.
Okay.
And so if you play that card and then everybody around the circle draws and doesn't have an answer for it, you just win. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's how it was. Like, we all drew our cards and we're like, okay, we got to figure this out. We all drew our cards. And then the guy next to me, his name was Kirby. He drew his card and he was like, yeah, I don't have an answer for that. Cool, man. Good game. Right?
Yeah.
And we were all just like, man, that wasn't fun. And then the guy was like, do you want to play again? And we were all like, no, not really.
No,
you know?
You don't.
And so
it's like that. It's like when you're playing like a pickup game in any sport.
Yeah.
And you split into teams. You play 2 games. One team dominates. You're like, should we switch up the teams? Like, you're kind of like, hey, that guy at that table, I know him. I'm gonna go play with him.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's sacrificing future games for the victory of the one game.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like in chess, right? Mm-hmm. There's like I don't know how many, it's like the 3-turn checkmate or something like that.
Oh yeah, the Scholar's Mate.
Yeah, the Scholar's Mate. It'd be like asking your nephew, like, hey, do you want to play chess? And then you get them with the Scholar's Mate. It's like,
especially if like they make one move, you're like, that would stop the Scholar's Mate.
Oh
you're
yeah,
like, you might not want to do that.
Oh my gosh. It's so embarrassing.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. So I think that's who I would kind of like say, like, that there's in the spike category, there's like multiple kinds of spikes. Yeah. One game that I'm interested to hear about is Overwatch.
Okay.
So what are the different kinds of players in Overwatch?
So
would you say?
There are 3 roles. I don't know that I've played enough Overwatch to be the authority on this, but there's 3 roles. There's the tanks, the medics, and then the damage dealers. I don't know what they're called.
So like Torbjorn would be a tank, right? Or no?
I don't know. I don't remember which one.
Okay, never mind. Go on.
But yeah, there's like you have to pick a class,
uh-huh.
and then within each class, there's then you pick your character.
Okay.
So there's like the big hog guy who's just like he just has a.
I think his name is Warhog.
Probably. That's probably why.
Yeah.
And I might be getting it mixed up with another guy. Actually, just spent too long.
Yeah.
The character I would always go, I think, is Eva. She's like she has this big mech suit.
Oh, I've seen her.
And she can like her ultimate is she jumps out of the suit as it has momentum, and so it flies over to an area and then explodes.
Okay.
And then she is just herself with a pistol.
Oh.
Until she dies, or she can get the suit back after the timer runs out or whatever.
Okay.
She's a tank. That's what I would always do.
Is Overwatch free?
Yeah.
Dude.
And they just released a second one.
We should play it.
Apparently,
I've never played Overwatch.
Different. It's pretty fun, man. It's a good time.
Okay, go on.
I've got a group of buddies I think that still play, so we can play with them.
And then we could talk about it on the free game chat.
It's
free game
game,
podcast.
Dude. That could be the next Dauntless.
Oh, dude. Nice.
So, it's interesting that I chose her most of the time, because not only is she a tank, so she's got the big turtle-y defenses, right? But also her ultimate where it flies out and explodes, I mean, it can kill everyone in the area. Like, it's a huge bomb.
Yeah.
So it's like the big numbers kind of thing.
Yeah.
Such a Timmy
character. Oh, yeah, exactly. And I don't know, because, like, I've never played the game, but, like, when I play RPGs or anything, I always go for, like, the magic user. And that makes sense as a Johnny because I like the
yeah.
summoning a bunch of little guys.
Complicated.
Yeah, like when I played Clash of Clans, the like skeleton witch or whatever her name is was like my favorite. And that makes sense because I really like the swarm mentality of like a bunch of little guys coming up and you know like drowning. Yeah, exactly. But I never
sitting very formally.
Politely. Yeah.
Good boy. Good boy.
But, you know, I was never into, like, you know, dropping a bunch of giants. It just wasn't really my thing. I liked, like, hog riders and the skeleton witch people, and then I'd throw a couple, like, of those flying dragons behind them, like, you know, like, trying to just, like, overwhelm rather than just, like, big guy destroy, you know? I think that's probably why, you know, your favorite superhero is the Hulk, and my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. Yep. I mean, that just makes sense, doesn't it?
Makes sense, dude.
So I think that there's something to like what kind of player you are in a game that it like speaks to who you are.
Yeah, it says a lot about a guy, you know.
But back to Overwatch. I think that I would like at first I would choose a healer, and then I would play the healer role very poorly and then go to move on to whatever the other, not tank, but the other one.
Same, dude.
Like, that's just how I would be.
Because, the healers can absolutely make a team. But I'm not good enough with them. Yeah. You have to have such great situational awareness. And it's interesting because in League of Legends, when I'm playing with my friends, almost all the time I was playing the support role. Yeah. Which the thing that's like in my mind makes it similar to just the Timmy play style across the board in general is the fact that a lot of the support champions in League of Legends are tanks. Yeah. So I just be
wow, dude, you were just so like you fit that role perfectly, dude.
Hard to kill, and I loved if I could save a teammate's life or help them do something. There's this champion in League of Legends called Thresh, and he was my go-to guy forever. He can get really tanky, and he's got this, it's like a chain blade from Dauntless. He throws it out on his chain, it hooks an enemy, and then it drags him in. Oh, nice. So you can land these crazy shots
but with the dart. You're also kind of like pillow forting in a way, because you're sitting in your safe area and you're dragging them into where you are.
Matter of fact, you can even, if you hit it again, like if you're pulling them and they're like resisting, you hit it again, you go to them. And then his ultimate is he puts up this like pentagon of these walls.
They can't get out?
They can get out, but it like slows them way down and hurts them. Wow. And anyone who comes in too. Wow. It's like that's like even more extreme.
Yeah, it's just you, dude. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Super fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that like if I were to play Overwatch, the first thing I'd be is like, okay, I'm gonna be a medic because I like the magic thing. I like that sort of thing. And then like, I know that I'm not going to be a good medic, but I'm still going to do this. Because I can just tell that that's how I'm going to be. Because I'm going to go there and then I'm going to try and start just like attacking people and not actually being a good medic at all. And then I'm going to be like, okay, I need to go.
Medic, come on, man.
Yeah. And then I'm probably just going to get bored. Because like, I'm going to be like healing people and be like, okay, I just want to go fight people, you know?
Healing some guy, you're like, hey, you're not. Yeah. Come back here.
Let me do it. So I think that, I think that I would end up going to like, you know, play McCree or something, just like trying to, you know, be aggressive, you know?
Big gunner.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing about in Overwatch is like there's this healer, I think he's a healer. There's a guy that's like floating, he has these orbs, each one does a different thing. There's just such like complicated characters that are so difficult to master that I think that seems like that challenge speaks to you. Yeah. Like, you kind of want to have this thing where it's like, not a lot of people play this because it's so complicated.
Oh, 100%.
But you're like, I figured it out. Yeah. And you don't know how to stop this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that also when it comes to, like, games, and I think that this is part of the reason why I'm having such a hard time getting to Infinite right now in Marvel Snap, is because being really consistent and, you know, just like constantly winning those 2 cubes over and over and over would get me to Infinite, but I don't. It's so boring to me playing like that. So like playing my discard deck, I was so consistent. Like I was doing so well playing with my discard deck, and then I would be like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I got to play ramp. I got to get like an 8-cuber or something. I got to get something fun and
that's
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, like that's.
I get like 1 8-cuber of a game a week, dude.
I get them all the time, but I also lose like 4 times as many 8-cubers.
That's why.
Because like to me, I think that like I can't help it. I can't help in games, but just want that wombo combo, insane, like crazy play, right?
Snap,
like
you win.
And I think that that's why climbing to infinite's driving me insane, is because I'm not appreciating when other people play good games. And before I would. Like if somebody made a really awesome play, I'd be like, yes, dude, that's so sick. Yeah. But now I lose 8 cubes and I'm like, dude, I cannot.
Yeah.
You know? So now I'm just getting angry. And that's so stupid. But dude, that's just how I'm feeling right now.
It's real, man.
Yeah. And so then I think that that's how I would be in like Overwatch, right? I don't care about getting really technical and like, okay, I have to have situational awareness. I have to know what the other team's playing and stuff like that. I just want to like do that awesome highlight reel play where I just do something so sick. And then I can lose for the rest of the game. But I'm like, dude, did you remember when I did that awesome thing? That's just how I am. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think that that's why I'm definitely not a Spike. Is because a Spike, they're not looking for the flashy plays. No. They're just looking for the consistency. Like, I always get my KD exactly where it needs to be. I could not care less about that sort of stuff.
It's interesting because I'm, like, picturing these three in, like, a, you know, the triple Venn diagram thing. Because a lot of the Spike mentality does overlap with Timmy just because of the consistency thing. Like, it's like, I've gone through, I mean, the 2 decks I've played the longest, I've played them an unbelievable amount more than any other deck in Marvel Snap. I mean,
Yeah.
I only have 1 deck in Magic. That's all I play, right? Yeah. It's not like we play a bunch. Yeah. But, like, I like the consistency, but I do care that everyone has fun.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, I'm a Spike, except I'm not a psychopath, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And we've talked about how the Spike and the Johnny can overlap, or like the differences there.
And I think, I don't see you as a Spike in like any instance. Yeah. I see you as a Timmy. Like, because even in Marvel Snap, like, you're not looking for the crazy wombo combo. You're looking at to put good stuff on the board. And then if you win, you're like, awesome. And if you lose, I bet it frustrates you, because it frustrates everybody when they lose. I think that that's because Marvel Snap is a game where you know.
That's the point of it.
Yeah. But I think that the Spike mentality, like, I listened to a podcast recently with a bunch of Spikes in Marvel Snap. It's crazy to hear them talk. And I think that it's really kind of like getting in my head to where I'm not having fun because I'm kind of trying to play like them when I should just be trying to have fun. But the way that they put it is they have these decks where the variance in them is really high, but that just means that when they win so big that they'll lose 2 cubers over and over and over, but then they'll win 5 8-cubers, and they just keep going and going and going. And they're like unstoppable, right? And I think that that's where there's a difference, because, like, you know, they'll, like, this guy has a deck where he has a Thanos Lockjaw deck, and if he has the Time Stone and Lockjaw in his hand, he snaps no matter what. That's what he said. He's like, if I have those 2 cards in my hand, I snap. And if later on in the game it turns out like, hey, this isn't going so well, I'll just retreat and I'll take the 2-cube loss. But it just makes so much more sense to try and get that because like the odds of him winning are very high at that point. They're not 100%. Right. But like the way that they're talking about it is so different from the way that I ever thought about Marvel Snap. Yeah. And like they're talking, you know, I think that Spikes just have like a different perception on the game. And they're kind of like Timmy's in a way where they play like the same deck all the time. And maybe not all Timmys play the same deck.
That's like the only difference, like not difference, the only similarity, the exact opposite of difference. Yeah. The only similarity I've found so far this episode between Timmys and Spikes is just the this is my deck,
mm-hmm.
and it works for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the purpose behind the deck is just so different for either of them. I'm trying to think, like, comparing and contrasting Timmy's and Johnny's, because in Marvel Snap, well, the 2 decks I've played the most are Discard, which is a combo deck.
Yeah.
When it gets down, like, if it doesn't get Apocalypse, it's not good.
Yeah.
And Omega Red, which is a
combo deck.
Way more technical combo deck.
Yeah.
You need the 4 pieces or whatever.
But your combo is not trying to, Luke Cage Valkyrie.
Right.
Or right. You're not trying to, like, work with your opponent. You're playing, like, Battle Cruiser. Yeah. You're just trying to get as big of power on your side of the board as possible.
That's true.
And so I think that's, I think that's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I kind of forgot to mention about Magic is that there's another 3-tier sort of, or like 3 different kinds of play in Magic. There's aggro, mid-range, and control. Okay, and then there's combo. And combo, I mean, that's just Johnny, right? You're just trying to make a combo that wins. Okay. But aggro is you're trying to play as aggressively as possible. Mm-hmm. If you're not winning, like, you're trying to win before your opponent even gets a leg up. Right? Like, you're just trying to take advantage of your opponent trying to set things up. Mm-hmm. And so if they do, like, if your game gets slowed down even a little bit, it's kind of like a retreat moment, right? Obviously, there's no retreating in Magic. You just lose. Yeah. But, like,
you need the momentum.
You need that. Up. Yeah. You just go as fast as possible, and then whatever. And then there's mid range, which is basically like it's tempo in a different way. Okay. Where you're trying to, I guess, win in, like, the mid game, right? So you're trying to out tempo your aggro people. So trying to, like, put up big, like, they call them, like, big butts. So, like, just dudes that have a lot of defense. Trying to, like, pillow fort a little bit, trying to keep your bearings, and then just putting out really high value cards. So cards that draw you cards that give you more mana, just stuff that just it's impossible to stop the train rolling, kind of a thing.
It's like keeping your head out of the water until you can really have a power spike.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. And then there's control. And control is no matter what your opponent is doing, you don't want to let them do that thing.
You have an answer.
You want to oppress everything that they're doing, and it's almost all the time a slog because your opponent just runs out of, like, resources, and then you just have, like, one flyer, and you just swing in every turn, and you're just trying to a war of attrition. You're just trying to, slowly pick at their health.
Yeah.
And I think that there's definitely aggro and mid-range in Marvel Snap, but there's not really control. That's not really a thing.
I guess the only thing would be maybe like Grief or Clutter or straight control decks.
Yeah, where it's like Professor X and...
Yeah, or just Disruption.
Lockdown. Like... Yeah, I guess. Man, it's just so interesting to me, all the different archetypes that there are in really things. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was Smash Bros.
Okay.
Smash Bros, there's a lot of different, kinds of players. There's a lot of different characters, and so it's almost like each character is its own player. But...
Like, it's like someone tells you who they main, and it says a lot about them.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't think... Like, my main, I think, says a lot about me. I don't know if your main says a lot about you because you haven't played the game enough to fair. Actually see what character you like. Yeah. Like, you know that you like Kirby.
I'm still just playing Kirby.
Yeah. But, like, if you saw somebody in, like, a really, really highly competitive area playing Kirby, you might be like, oh, I don't actually like Kirby. Because he plays completely differently than how you would play Kirby, right? But, I think that there are definitely different kinds of players in Smash, where there's, like, the people that like the combo heavy, just crazy moves. That's me, obviously. And then there's the people that, like Ganondorf, they're just a tank. They'll hit you 5 times and you lose. Like, it's just crazy. But they're really slow. They're slow moving. And so, they don't get juggled very easily. They're hard to combo against. But they also, just, like, hit like a truck. And I'm trying to think if there's anybody else. I think that there's just like the Mr. Game & Watch and Minecraft Steve players that just kind of go crazy on like tech players.
Pokemon Trainer, maybe.
Yeah. Pokemon Trainer can kind of be that way too, where instead of focusing on like your bread and butter combos, trying to get, your Mario up air, forward air, up air, down, like all that stuff. There's, or I think it's up air, what is it? Up air, neutral air, forward air? Something like that. It's like you're trying to like spike your opponent. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But they're kind of trying to like see what the situation is, control the situation, I thought that was interesting. I haven't played Smash in a long enough time to really get into that one.
So
but
who's your main normally?
My two mains, I have two mains, are Yoshi.
Oh yeah.
And Mario.
Okay.
I also love King K. Rool.
Okay.
Who's a tank for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But he also has really fun combo potential.
Okay.
And who else do I like to play? It's been a minute since I've played Smash, man. God, I gotta get back in that game. And then we're kind of wrapping up here a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, if you want, I could ask you about one more game, and then we can kind of wrap it up.
Okay.
So, the last game that I wanted to talk to you about was Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
But Breath of the Wild / open world RPGs. Okay. I know that you're the kind of guy that takes his time, right? So, like, what is your mentality behind, like, you have an open world in front of you, what do you do?
Well, I'll tell you what I've been doing on Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Because I haven't been able to play that much recently, but I don't want to do anything, really, until I have the whole map revealed.
Yeah. All
the towers.
Yeah.
And I've hit all the shrines along the way. Not all of them. I just mean the ones I've encountered, Yeah, like, that's what I did in Breath of the Wild 2, was I opened up the whole map. I kind of went to every city and met some people, but I didn't care about side quests. I also was limited time with Breath of the Wild, but it was only then that I was like, you know what, I'll just see how it is to fight this divine beast. And I won, and then I just was like, oh, okay, well, I'll go get the other one. Like, it was then that I started building momentum, and then I just went and beat the game. And like I said, I was on limited time, so it was probably different than how we'll do Tears of the Kingdom. But I don't even want to... I don't know the equivalent of Divine Beast or Temple or whatever in Tears of the Kingdom yet, but I definitely know that I don't care to beat it for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be very completionist about this game in terms of getting all the shrines. Don't know if I'll get all the Koroks, but get a lot of Koroks.
Yeah. And
just make my character Link as good as I can before I really even like come up against a challenge. You know?
Yeah.
In terms of boss.
I'm definitely the kind of player that jumps right into the challenging stuff. So like my wife on one hand of it, she has like 2 towers. So she has 2 parts of her map open right now. Total.
Okay.
And she's just only doing stuff within that area.
That's crazy.
Then she'll open another part of the map and do that area.
Okay.
That's just how she moves.
That's crazy,
dude. Yeah.
2?
2 towers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she is like to say how dense this map is. She's been playing many hours within those 2 parts of the map. She's crazy.
Has she played as much as you now?
About as much as me. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. Where I, on the other hand, am more of like a, I have the entire map uncovered at this point.
Okay, you got that quick.
That was like my first thing that I wanted to do.
Okay. So you didn't even like, were you like tunnel vision, like you didn't care about?
No, I would get stuff along the way.
Anything like beyond shrines?
Not really.
Just if you saw
there were some like side quests that I do here and there, but like I
like help the guy lift up his sign or whatever.
Yeah. But like I'm what's it called when somebody just like lives on the road? Like I just let the wind
the flow.
Yeah, I don't, I'm a drifter,
There you go.
So I got the whole map uncovered, and now I'm like, okay, this area seems interesting. I'll go here. Mm-hmm. And like I go back to where I've already been, right? And so, you know how there's like the weather phenomena or something like that? There's like the weird phenomena that go on in certain locations. Yeah. Have you done that? I've finished 2 of those.
Okay.
So like I just, you know, like I like to get things done. And then I'll take my time. I'll look at the stuff that I was already at. You know, that's kind of the way that I play those sorts of games.
A little more finely.
Yeah. And that's how, because if I stay in one spot for too long, I'm going to be like, dude, I hate this place.
I was about to say that because I think a lot of this can boil down into a person's threshold for boredom.
Yeah.
You are afraid of being bored.
Yeah, because I don't want to not like the game.
If you're not being challenged, then you're not interested.
100%.
Sarah, it's impossible for her to be bored. It sounds like...
Almost.
I mean...
Almost.
And I'm in the middle. Like, Magic the Gathering, I have my one deck. I have not even started to grow tired of it.
Yeah.
You play a different deck every time.
Sarah doesn't even have a deck.
Yeah.
Can't even get into it.
Yeah. She only has opened 2 the Towers and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
I've got only 3 or 4, but I haven't been able to play it at all.
Yeah.
It just seems like that's a big part of it, is the threshold for boredom. In Marvel Snap, I never really get bored of discard.
Yeah.
and you do. And
discard
that's not worse or
great.
Better. Yeah. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
You just like to keep it moving. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I don't know. I just think that like in Marvel Snap, for example, and in like all games, I just feel like there's so much for me to enjoy that I don't want to just enjoy, you know, the one thing. This makes me sound as if I'm, you know, some sort of polyamorous. I'm not. I'm very loyal, you know, but...
Do you have FOMO very much in general?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wondered if you would, but...
Yeah, no, I don't.
I don't feel like I do either.
Yeah. I don't... It seems like I should, right? But maybe I do. I don't know. I guess I haven't really looked into that very much. But, like, I think it depends on what sort of... I'll have to think about that. That's actually a really interesting thing.
Well, I think we should do a second part of this episode. Where we talk about other games.
Oh, yeah.
After we've played a few more games, have different games fresh on our mind.
And maybe we could, like, bring on a Spike that we know. Yeah. And kind of just, like, talk through it and get their side. A Spike? I'm trying to think if I know one.
Donnie might be a Spike in, like, Call of Duty or something.
He might even be a Spike in Snap.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know, dude, but...
We'll ask him.
Yeah, we'll ask him. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. I know this was a bit of a different episode. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
And I hope it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it too. We are going to try to have more conversations like this where it's less trying to sell you on a game and more just talking.
Yeah,
open. Open, but with a more specific theme than just free game chat.
Yeah, definitely.
Free game chat is like a Grappler episode.
Yeah. And, you know, we have all of our social media stuff available in the link down below. I hate saying that sort of stuff. In the description. And we would love to hear you guys talk about, you know, oh, I'm a Johnny, I'm a Timmy, I'm a Spike.
Or Holden, you're actually a Spike, you're not a Johnny.
Yeah, tell me what I am. You probably know better than I do. And yeah, if you could, you know, leave a review, that would be lovely because it just helps grow the Wii community we have here.
Free game community, man.
Yeah. Yep. The cheapskates, as we want to call them. I just, you know, pulled that out.
We'll see if it sticks,
We'll see. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Kibo, take us out.
Hey, free game, talking gaming day and night. This the show that you've been missing, guaranteed to get you hyped. Up, down, left, start, better charge up your controller. The show is taking over with Justin and with Holden. Hey, phase 10, Halo Reach, Magic the Gathering. Plenty games we talking, cause that's what we got a passion in. Hey, restart, run it back, let's play like we in the arcade. Homie, this is free game, let's go.